What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 262 of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. In the show this week, PlayStation to never, ever stop. Nintendo's bringing you more disrespect from the doctor. The sales are here, Marge. The Australian government again sticking its nose in. Just following Trump's lead. PS Plus, Games with Gold, News Roulette, and much, much more. Editing Lucas, play the track.
3, 2, 1, 0.
We recommend wearing headphones.
This is the Aussie Gamers
Experience. News, reviews, and outlandish fun. Experience it all.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning into the show this week. Today is Monday, the 1st of July, 2019. I'm your host, Snoogs, and joining me for hosting duties this week is the one and only Grejio. How are you, mate?
What's up? Yeah, I'm good, man. Yourself?
Kicking along. It's Monday. It's always fun. There's rum in hand. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. Also joining us is the man, the myth himself, Lucas.
Yeah,
Hey,
hello. I'm good. Very good, thank you. I've had a good day, so I'm ready for a podcast.
Podcast.
Yes.
All right, boys. Well, first of all, we missed it last week. Apologies do go out. It ended up being sick, and just throwing it back and forth between us. Didn't know what was going on, so just ended up going, can't do it, unfortunately. So we're making up for it this weekend with a massive show. And to kick off the massive show this week in gaming, I have a massive piece of gaming lore. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's get into it. All right, we're traveling all the way back to 2003. And of course, we have Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne expansion. So this was a very big expansion to Warcraft 3 because it actually laid a lot of the groundwork for World of Warcraft to come shortly after. So it was released this day, 2003. It won PC Strategy Game of the Year, of course, published and developed by Blizzard. And by August 15th in 2003, it had already sold 1 million copies. It was the highest selling expansion of 2003. And like I said, it did lay a lot of those groundwork. So a lot of the actions that the Orc campaign that you played within that were later explored and grown upon in the MMORPG World of Warcraft. You guys know that?
I could never even get into that game. I knew nothing about that game.
It was probably the last Warcraft that I bought.
See,
I loved it.
I was a Command and Conquer guy. Like,
I was
once
all of them.
you know what? That means there's one more thing that you and I sit opposite sides of. That's so bizarre. We should not be friends, is all I'm saying.
Well, no, because I was a Command and Conquer fan as well.
Fair enough.
I was an RTS fan.
Yeah,
That's
to be
what
fair, I like most RTSs, but yeah, my flavor was definitely Command and Conquer, and considering at that point in time I had money for one or the other, I went with one.
Yes. Well,
No.
see, I had a few years on you, so I got both.
Yes.
I was well into shit. I was already finished my apprenticeship by then. Ooh. We'll just
Snap.
leave that there. All right. Should we go on to the show?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
That begging is just like, please move on.
Yes.
All right. On to games that we're currently having a play with. Shall we start? Anyone can guess what my first one is?
Tetris.
Funnily enough, I did try to play Tetris.
On the Tetris 99 or whatever. Whatever it's
Tetris
called.
99 on the Switch.
Yeah.
Uh,
What a random game for me to just pick off the top of my brain.
I know, right?
And be partially correct.
Well, let's start off with that. My wife thought she would be funny, and she came home and said, "Oh, look, your birthday present has been delivered. Would you like to open it up early?" And usually I'd go, no, put it away for my birthday. This weekend I went, yes, I want to open it up now. So I opened it up, and I now have a Nintendo Switch.
I'm just gonna put it out there, just for the record. Your birthday is quite some distance away.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's not even early. That's like, it's not even on the horizon.
Nope.
Like, I mean, mine, like, if I opened up a birthday present now, I could say mine is early, but yours,
Yeah.
not a chance.
I'm still a month after you, so yeah.
I know.
Oh, I'll take what you can get, man.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
I'll
when
take
you, yeah, look, when your wife offers you Switch, you take it.
it. Yeah, so I'm very thankful for that. I haven't finished setting it up yet. I've had a pretty full-on weekend, so haven't done much gaming, but I've played some Brawlhalla, which is really cool. I did try to play some Tetris 99, but because I haven't set up my Nintendo online account
Mhm.
thing, I couldn't log in to have a game against anyone.
Need a subscription for that.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I've been mucking around with it. The kids are absolutely in love with it as well, and I've got some games that I'm getting this week, so we'll keep an eye out for them. But I'm going to start off with a game that from you, Lucas, that I've also played a lot of.
Right.
So you've grabbed some Division 2.
Yes, I did. I picked up Division 2 yesterday.
And you had to play with it last night. Unfortunately, I couldn't jump on because I was just rat shit after yesterday. But what are you thinking so far?
It's very Division.
Surprise!
Surprise!
It's the Division again, and it kind of sounds like I'm being facetious, but look, it's a good thing because I liked Division 1. And I got an email from Ubisoft, and it said it said something along the lines of, you've spent, I don't know, 176 hours in New York. Now it's time that, where are we now? Washington, D.C. needs your help or something like that. So I played a fair bit. Look, that doesn't sound like a lot. I think I put more time than that into the Division 1. But anyway, I enjoyed the first one. So if the Division 2 is very Division, then I suppose that's a good thing. I only played it for about an hour and a half last night, and I like it. I enjoyed it. I'm just playing the main missions. And I accidentally walked up to a guy and started talking to a dude, and it come up saying side mission accepted. So I just quickly found where the sprint button was and ran away. Your side missions have no power here.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's good. It is a good game.
Alrighty. Awesome. Yeah, well, I've played more of it. Had a bit of a run with the clan last week trying to get through the raid. Unfortunately, the people that I were playing with, they hadn't attempted it before, and we had a couple of people just trying to sort of get us through and working out the mechanics and whatnot, and it just didn't work. So they had to log off and try again next time, which will be sometime this week. We'll have a crack at that. Well, Grejio, one I want to know about, because I thought with my copy I would be able to play it, but I can't. Lego Speed Champions.
Mm-hmm.
It is on Forza Horizon.
It is.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh, it says installed on mine. I haven't tried it.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Well, I think there's only one word that can really sum up Lego Speed Champions, and that is awesome.
Awesome.
Everything is awesome. And yes, that song plays in the background an awful lot for the amount of time you play that game. Look, I'm having a ball.
Can I just stop you for a second? Are you about to talk about Forza?
No, I'm about to talk about Lego Speed Champions.
What's that?
It is the new DLC for Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah, so you're talking about Forza. You just threw me there, and I'm thinking, yeah, isn't that Forza? No, I just wanted to see if I had time to go get a drink, that's all. I've got time to go fucking brew something.
Off you go. You should be able to make a homebrew in that time.
Sorry, mate. Keep going. I just had to.
I know. Radicus is already typing a lot, so I'm assuming I'm about to get copper from him too. Look, Lego Speed Champions, it's literally, the premise is that the Forza Horizon Festival has cordoned off a section of the British Isles and has created a life-size Lego world within its space to try and, I don't know, why not? They've also built life-size cars out of Lego, and you race around in Lego cars, smashing up Lego bits and playing more Forza on a Lego-based sort of platform. Now it's sort of a real world, as real world as Forza gets, with Lego built into it. So there's still places where there's, grass and trees, but there's also Lego flowers and trees and roads and whatever plastered into the real world.
So it's kind of like when I was a kid and you would play Legos, but you'd run out of bits and pieces, so you'd also be using G.I. Joes and micro machines and stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
kind of. Like think of it like you know, when you've got Lego and you've got those green bases and you can build off.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were poor and you didn't have the bases and you just had to build on the floor, right? Think of it that way.
That was me.
Anyway, so at the moment there's only 4 Lego cars you can play: the McLaren Senna, the Mini, three: the McLaren Senna and the Mini and the F40. They are talking about barn finds. I don't know what they are yet. I haven't gotten to that point yet. The DLC is premised on the fact that you've got to build your house. So for those that have played Forza so far, you have houses that you can buy on the map, and they act as your sort of your home, your base of operations. And you can buy different ones depending on your flavor or whatever. This, in essence, you're doing challenges to get bricks to build your own house. And as you do more and more challenges, you get different parts of the house. So first there's the house, then there's a garage attachment, and then they start attaching more and more other wacky parts to the house. There's 272 challenges to complete. So this isn't something you're just going to breeze through.
That sounds like a lot of hard work.
Well, it does.
Sounds like a lot of Forza talk for the next 6 weeks.
Well, no, not really. Because so in that 200,
He's been playing it a week. It's already done.
No, it's not. So the challenges are broken up into different categories. So a lot of it's stuff that you would just do anyway playing the game. So there's a challenge for every race. So you knock over all the races. That's a big stack of the challenges done. There's also finding all the different all the different beauty spots, all the different areas of the map. So there's those challenges as well. And then you've got specific challenges like you have to do X in car, B within a set time or whatever. And there's those challenges for those that want to get into the nitty gritty of the challenges. There's also like all the collection challenges as well. So there's a bunch of things you can collect. Like bonus boards, or there's a whole bunch of Lego specific ones as well, which is really cool. The cars, you can upgrade them still, like you can in all the other cars, except you can't change the wheels, and some of the body modifications are, either there or not there. Yeah, kind of thing. They're Lego as. So. The livery's also a little bit limited. Anyone that's looked at my Instagram in the last little while has seen I've done a livery from the McLaren Senna already, but you can see how it's kind of challenging because the livery is broken up by the lines of the brick. So essentially, you remember when you like old school Lego, they used to have stickers on the bricks, and there used to be kind of a border of brick around the sticker. So, the stickers would never sort of cross over two bricks, right? Because then you couldn't separate the bricks, right? Well, it's the same thing here. So the liveries are a bit tricky now because the blocks break up the cars and create these essential borders around each brick. So, like I said, if you remember old school Lego, it's got the stickers on it. The stickers are well confined within the brick itself. So when you plaster a big image across the flat surface on the car, it's broken up by all the lines and it doesn't work very well. So you have to confine all your little bits and pieces within
Each brick.
Each brick itself. So it adds a challenge, but at the same time, it just gives you a different path and makes you think about your liveries a little bit differently. So, but either way, I'm going to wrap this up, because I know everyone's starting to go, oh my goodness, Forza stuff. Look, I'm really enjoying it. If you like Lego.
Let me put this out there, okay? It's not Forza stuff. I like Forza. We like Forza. But Greg, you do go into a lot of detail.
I'm just a very detailed kind of dude.
I know you are, and you're a passionate bloke, but yeah, that's a lot of detail.
Anyway, Look, I can't say you can't say you're not informed when I tell you about it.
That's true. That's very true.
This is true.
So either way, like I said, if you like Lego and you like Forza, it's worth
Gonna
giving it
give
a crack. Yeah, I think it's worth the price of admission. It's got a lot of content. It'll keep you busy for a while.
Well, while we're on Forza, I just want to bring up something that Stick Figure from Down Under Gaming,
Xbox and Chill.
Yeah, Xbox and Chill. He tweets a lot, and a lot of his tweets are
They're very one-sided.
well. Look,
Passionate?
every time I've challenged him on being one-sided, he can argue. He always comes back with a good argument. So they are antagonistic, I guess. But sometimes he comes up with some really good tweets. And one about Forza was a suggestion to Turn 10 about a Forza Horizon style a battle royale. You know, you can roll your eyes and oh, battle royale, everything. But his idea was actually pretty damn good. Could you imagine a point from A to B on the map with checkpoints? Last place at every checkpoint is eliminated. I reckon that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's been similar kind of game types in other games where there's they're usually, and it's usually a lapped race. And the person in last place every lap gets eliminated until there's one last person. I know off the top of my head, I know Carmageddon did that. There have been some other. I think Need for Speed. Some of the Need for Speeds had an elimination style race in them. But look,
I think it would work really well in Forza because of the big open world map. You know, it could.
Yes.
The checkpoints wouldn't necessarily be along a path. They would be. Yeah.
You just have to get to them.
It was, you get to that checkpoint the quickest way you can. So there's no real set way to go.
Yep.
You know, you can just try and cut a straight line if you can, or you can cut around a shortcut that you might know. Stuff like that. I reckon that would actually work really well. But
it could be good.
Good on you, Stick Figure.
I do enjoy his tweets.
Yeah.
I enjoy the antagonistic nature of them because occasionally I will bite, and that's always fun.
Yeah, but every time I bite, he just destroys me with what seems to be good sense. Yeah, asshole.
Look, I'm gonna be. Let's be honest. He doesn't pick fights that he doesn't think he can win.
Yeah, that's his thing. Yeah, if he picks a fight, he's pretty much got a way out.
Yep.
All right. Well, before we jump into the next game, a quick hello to Azrael and Radicus listening along live. Thanks for joining us, guys. Radicus has already thrown some beauties into the chat. So anyone listening after the fact, get on over to our Discord and jump on and listen to us live because it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Lucas, you were learning how to play a new game this week.
Yeah.
The Sims 4.
Oh, yeah.
PC.
That was today.
Oh, it was today, was it?
It was today, yeah. So whilst my daughter was in hospital last week, which if you guys follow me on Twitter, you might know a little bit about it, but my poor little girl was hospitalised last week, and on one of the nights, because me and my wife were taking turns at staying at the hospital because only one parent could stay, so my wife would stay one night, then I stayed the next, then vice versa. And one of the nights that I was at home, I was thinking about my daughter, and I know she loves The Sims 4. So I thought, I'll give it a go. It's installed on my computer. I'll give it a crack. And I played it, and I couldn't even work out the tutorial. Like it was asking me to do something. I couldn't find what it was saying to do, and I just ended up enough of this. I turned it off and went to bed. So then the next day in the hospital, I said to my daughter, I said, look, when you're better, when we get home, you're going to show me how to play this bloody game. And I thought she would enjoy that. So today we made a little bit of a Let's Play video, which is going to be available tomorrow. So by the time this podcast is released, it'll be on the Aussie Gamers Experience YouTube channel of me and my daughter playing the game and her showing me how to play it. And let's just say I got a little frustrated with how bloody slow-paced that game is. And now my daughter's a nut for it, right? She loves it, and she gets every single little thing out of it that you can. So if she creates a sim, she will go in and she will adjust the nose bridge length, the width. She will move the jawline. She will adjust the width of a head, the height of a head. Then she'll go into the eyebrows, and she'll adjust the eyebrows, and she'll adjust the ears, and the entire... I didn't realise that Sims, they are like 150,000% like customisable. Ridiculous. And in the end, she showed me that you could change the size of the bum and the boobs, because we were creating... we were creating a female character. And I'm a little bit ashamed to say that as soon as she told me that, I did slightly get more interested. Oh dear!
All that work to create a sim, and then you just put it in the pool and take away the stairs.
Actually, I did reference that in the video. But yeah, there's a part in the video that I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to mention because I want you to watch it. Let's get as many people as we can to watch it to give my daughter a little bit of a confidence booster that people are watching a video. But yeah, there's this really funny part that just had me laughing out loud. It was so funny, and it was something that I'd set up when we were creating the sim, but completely forgot about, and then it blindsided me when it happened in the game. I'm like, oh my god. Oh dear. And yeah, there was a couple of unsavory moments there when I completely forgot that I was doing a video with a 10-year-old. But it was good fun. Look, yeah, The Sims 4, it doesn't have a place in adult Lucas's life. I mean, once upon a time when I was a kid, because I did play the earlier Sims, I did enjoy it. But yeah, it's just too pedestrian for me. It's just slow paced.
I read something a little creepy in regards to The Sims 4 the other day.
Okay.
So someone had one of the expansions, I think, is like a university or something where they can go and get higher education.
Right.
And every one of their Sims, they went and maxed out every single one of their Sims in their own little sort of neighborhood at this university. And apparently the Sims were going and always getting smarter and doing all these tests and experiments and whatnot. And they did an experiment and realized that they were a simulation and stopped working.
What?
This is what I mean. The guy says they all realized that they were a simulation, and it come up that that's what they'd done, and they stopped and looked out of the screen, and he got freaked out and had to turn it off. He hasn't played it since.
That's an Alt F4 moment.
Yes. Control Alt Delete.
Oh my god. Yeah, that would be a bit creepy, but that's cool if they've put that into the game. That's pretty damn cool. They got so smart that they realized that they were like a Truman Show.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
So, that was insane.
It just got to being antagonistic in the game. Like I just said to my daughter, I'm like, yeah, just be mean to that person. And some bizarre stuff actually occurred. So I get the attraction because it is actually quite funny how the AI in the game reacts to your input and the weird things that happen. But yeah, I don't think I could actually properly play it. You know, having a quick go of it every now and then for a laugh, yeah, but playing that game, no, it's too, as I said before, too pedestrian. You're not doing anything. You're just sort of influencing things in the hope that you get desired outcomes.
I've started playing it again recently, so I know exactly where it is.
You have it, do you? Oh, it's on Game Pass. No, it's not on Game Pass. I didn't know you had it.
No. It was on for the anniversary a couple of months back. Origin released the base game for free.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I do remember that.
So
I remember I ignored it because I already had it, and I said to my daughter today, I said, how many expansion packs have you got? And she goes, 9. Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
Dad, you don't really want to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, that's the most expensive game that I've never played before.
Whoa, I'm going to jump into another little building game I've been playing Jurassic World Evolution. No, do you remember the do you remember the one for
Oh, no,
Sky
man,
Captain, the one with the mark.
the one with the it was the Jurassic Park theme done really badly with a harmonica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more what my Jurassic World was like. I started playing it, and when I was streaming it, I was playing it properly, and I was really enjoying it. And I shouldn't say was, I am really enjoying it. I got to the second world, and I just went, okay, this has got a few more bits and pieces, because you start off in the what do they call them? The Cinco Muertes, 5 deaths. That's the English word for it. So you've got the 5 different islands around where Jurassic Park is set.
Mm-hmm.
And so you work your way through all of them to eventually end up on the main island. And so each one, you've got different dinosaurs to create and grow and build and expand and go from there. So the first little one where I just had a few herbivores, 2 carnivores, and just was letting it go and trying to get it all nice. Finished up the stream, started the second island, and went, okay, let's see how bad we can do this. So I got a whole lot of carnivores into one pen, then released a herbivore into that pen. Okay, that's what we can do. Oh, what happens if I remove this fence? Okay, there's people screaming and dinosaurs running after people.
Do they eat the people?
Yeah.
Ah, see, I watched a video where a guy, like a review, where guy was complaining that you could just walk straight up to the dinosaurs and they don't do anything to you. That might have been an early on bug.
They were going for people.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not graphic. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing feral about it, but they're chasing people, are screaming and running. And I was even watching on the. I showed my girls the game because they love Jurassic Park, and I showed them the game. And there was one. It was on the first island, but I didn't show them the crazy stuff. But one of the carnivores ran at the fence, and as it ran at the fence, everyone on the other side of the fence, didn't hit it or anything. It just ran up close to it. Everyone on the other side of the fence screamed and ran away.
Yeah, nice. So do you start off on the first island called Isla Nublar?
No, it's a different one. So Nublar and Isla Sorna, they're the last 2 islands you go to.
Did someone get that joke?
So you start off.
Anyone?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Just dropped in. Yep.
I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
To myself. Oh dear.
Your daughter's in the background just shaking her head at that terrible dad joke.
No, she loves my shit jokes. Thank you. If she doesn't, she's grounded.
All right, mate. Well, tell us about the iOS 13 beta.
Yeah, right. Well, it's not available yet, iOS 13. However, I did find a link where you can install it on your phone. It's specifically made for developers, but whatever. So I downloaded it and put it onto my phone for one reason alone. This is the main reason I couldn't wait for its actual release. Radicus has suggested USB support. No, that's not the reason. I assume you're right there that it does have it now, but that's not it. It's the Bluetooth controller support. Okay, so you can now, with iOS 13, when it does launch, or if you've got the beta, connect a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox One controller to your iPhone or your iPad. That's the whole reason why I wanted it straight away, because as I was in hospital last week, I wanted to play a lot of mobile gaming. So I have my Switch and I have my phone. So I connected my PlayStation 4 controller to my iPhone and I was playing iPhone games, but actual controller instead of this rubbish touchscreen stuff. So it's coming yet, and I know that this has probably been available for a long time on Androids. However, I don't have Android, haven't had for a very long time. So this was a big thing for me, and I absolutely loved it. It was so good. Kind of a little bit of a segue into another game I was playing called Evoland 2. and I was playing that on my iPhone. And have you guys heard of Evoland before?
No.
No.
Can't say I have.
It's a pretty impressive game. Now, I heard about the original one many, many years ago, and I saw that Evoland 2 was on mobile. So I picked it up. It's about $12. And basically, it starts off, and the graphics, it's like the old school Zelda games, top-down, sort of run-around game. And the graphics, dead set, look like the original Game Boy. Like, it's even has the green tinge to it and looks horrible. But the whole concept behind this game is that as you go through the game, it evolves. So that then the graphics, after the first bit, the graphics get better. And then it starts to look like a NES. And then you go through the game and you start to evolve again. And you're jumping these sort of portals that are taking you through to a better graphical engine. So it all slowly gets better to the point where you've got like a beautiful 3D looking game. It is actually quite impressive. I would recommend having a look at it. It's on PC as well. I'm not sure if it's on consoles. It bloody well should be if it's not. But it is on Android as well. Yeah, there you go. Great.
Yep.
Have a look. You've got to buy it. So if it's not really your cup of tea, it's $12. But for what it is and how it takes you through playing a Game Boy game to playing a pretty well high-end mobile game with 3D graphics. And I think there's even one part, I haven't gotten up to it, but there's even one part where it turns into a fighter, like a Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a pretty cool game. So I've been playing that. But you know what? Something I did think of while I was laying in the tiny, like the smallest lounge. No, what do you call them? Those sofa beds, like the lounge sofa bed thing. It was the smallest one that I've ever seen that literally will just fit an adult if your arms are by your side in the children's hospital. I thought, you know what? Now that I can connect my PS4 controller to my phone, I can now use remote play on my phone to play my PlayStation 4, which is at home.
Yes.
So I gave it a go.
And?
It worked really good. Like,
awesome.
Stupidly good. So I picked Borderlands because I think Borderlands was already running sort of in rest mode, so it was already on. So I just went into Borderlands and I was, damn it, man, I was playing Borderlands on my iPhone from PlayStation 4 that was probably, 30, 40 kilometers away. So
no, that's cool.
Pretty impressive. Now, Radicus asks in the chat a very good question. Does it use much data? Yes, too much data. So I literally just gave it a go because I had the idea as an actual, I'm going to sit down and game mobile with this. It's not really feasible. I checked it out. I think you're probably going to be using about a gig. I'm not sure if it was a gig an hour, roughly. But yeah, that was a bit too.
Sounds about right.
It was a bit too heavy-handed for the amount of data that I have on my plan. So I gave it a go just to see if I could, and I could, which was really cool. But unless you're somewhere out that has decent Wi-Fi, because you're going to need like free Wi-Fi is always slow. It will not work. Don't even bother. But if you're at someone's house that has, good internet, yeah, you can do it. And it worked. Because it worked on 4G for me. But yeah, way too much data. So I switched it off very quickly. But it was fun that it worked.
Well, while you're going with mobile stuff, mate, what about XenoWork?
Yeah, well, XenoWork is another mobile game that I bought specifically to try to controller. I won't go through too much on it just for the sake of rambling. But if you're going to play a mobile game with a controller, you've got to get XenoWork. That is an amazing feat for a mobile game to be playing. The graphics are amazing. It's a top-down twin-stick shooter pretty much, where you're going through like a, what would you call it, a facility and shooting up aliens. There's heaps of different aliens to kill, and then you get rewards at the end of the level, which you then upgrade, purchase new weapons, and then you go and do another. And there's heaps of levels. Awesome game. Xeno work. That one, I can't remember. I think might have been about $6 or something like that. But very, very worth it.
More PC stuff for me. Cities Skylines.
Oh yeah.
So I've had a quick play of that. I haven't put too much time into it. It was one of the things I was planning on doing over the weekend that just never came about. But so far, it's pretty much just a SimCity builder, very much along the same sort of lines. It looks good. It runs really good. It's quite a bit of fun, actually. And in the Steam sales at the moment, I think it's $10 something.
$10 something, yeah. Australian.
Yeah, so, like I said, I've only just sort of started playing it. I think I've literally built a highway and a couple of intersections and maybe just sort of started off with the first little bits. But, yeah, plenty more to go.
See, I toyed with the idea of grabbing that, and then it sort of I hit the realism hit me, and I thought, I'm looking at all these videos and screenshots of it, and it looks amazing. But then I realised that my creativity is pretty limited, and while it looks fantastic, I'll never be able to make anything that looks half as good as what talented people can do. So I haven't bothered.
Well, that was one of the things that drew me to it. I've been craving either a decent RTS or a SimCity style game for a while, and because Jurassic World and this were both on sale, I went and sort of gone, yeah, okay, we'll buy that now, thank you, and got stuck into both of them. So they've well and truly scratched that itch. So
yeah, I mean, it's a good home for it too on the PC, because I know City Skyline is on Game Pass, and I've downloaded it twice now, but not played it because I don't really want to play it with a controller.
No,
so
and I've done the same thing, and I was toying with getting Jurassic World on the PS4, and same sort of deal. Trying to play it with a controller, just it didn't appeal to me. I wanted to get that old school feel that it was something I enjoyed when I was younger. So it's been a lot of fun. Mate, over onto the good old Nintendo Switch. I'm having a look here. Yeah. And there's plenty down here, but the only one I've actually heard of is Shakedown Hawaii.
Yeah. I would recommend you get that, because you liked the old school GTA, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, if you can look past its pixel style graphics, which I know you're not a fan of, because it's like, I don't want to play Commodore 64 games, it's 2019 sort of thing, but man, that is a fun game. That is so good. And there's so much to do with it. This is, except for like the AAA games like Super Mario Odyssey and all that, this I've put like over 10 hours into this game. And that's really unheard of for a mobile, kind of a mobile game, for a handheld game. I put a lot of time into it. I finished it. It's only sort of like the challenges that I've got left to get, like gold on everything and stuff like that. But that's a really cool game. It's basically GTA, but with a story of you are like a business owner that's just gotten out of jail. And all of the businesses that you own have sort of been superseded. So you own a video rental store, but things like Netflix have destroyed it because nobody rents movies anymore. You own a taxi service, but things like Uber have destroyed that. They're not called Uber and that, like they've got similar names. I can't remember what they are. And basically you need to rebuild that empire. And so but you are the dodgiest prick in the world. Like if there's a scam, if you get scammed, most people get angry, but your character in this game just goes, "Oh, I've been scammed. That's a brilliant idea. Let's do that." And then you go and do what you can to do that and start scamming other people with what you were scammed with, because it was a bloody brilliant scam sort of thing. Oh dear! And look, one of my favourite lines in the game was that he's got his son. He's basically a loser son. Kind of reminds me a lot about Michael from GTA 5 with his loser son. and he's taken this protein powder, and he's saying, "Oh, it's not working that good." And your character picks up the protein bottle, and it said, I don't know, like 12 grams of protein per serve, and in the fine print it said when mixed with milk. And he said, "You know what else has got 12 grams of protein when mixed with milk?"
Milk.
Because the protein powder was like nothing. It was just the milk that you mixed it with. So it was like a scam with the sort of misleading fine print. So he's like, "That's brilliant." And then, you go down buying up these protein powder companies and stuff. It's fantastic. And you just shoot and run over everybody, and flamethrowers, and there's heaps of weapons. Awesome game. Absolutely worth the price it was. I think it's $28 maybe. Call it a $30 game. Shakedown Hawaii. I thought it was a fantastic game on the Switch, and it's coming to Steam, but it's not available on Steam just yet.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I've just been having a look through it on the Switch. Look for it, and I've come across Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah,
so,
that's on there.
I might have to pick that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, an old one that I've been playing a bit more of, because I've been on the PC this past week and having a lot of fun, is Fallout Shelter.
Oh yeah, Fallout's built a shelter.
Yeah. I played a lot of it on the phone or on my tablet, and always enjoyed it, but got to a point where I just very quickly run out of resources. And this time I've put nearly 10 hours into it on the PC, and it's just very calming, very relaxing. I'm not rushing it. I'm not trying to get, heaps and heaps of inhabitants really quickly. I'm just taking my time and just letting it go about its thing and do it. And traveling really well. I've got myself, I think, 40 people in there. I've been doing my daily missions, my weekly missions, and just really it's very relaxing. It's
a very good game. I will give it to them. That's one of the best Bethesda games I've played.
Yeah, playing it on the big screen, it's
one of
just
the best Fallout games I've made.
But yeah, playing it on the PC screen, it really shows just how well put together it is. Although I cannot for the life of me find the mysterious stranger. I don't know why. I hear the noise to say there, but I can never find him.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Where's Wally when that noise plays. Like, oh, where is he? Because if you tap him, you get stuff.
Yeah. And I literally get, like, at this point in time, I'm getting about 3 seconds to find him.
Yeah, you don't get long.
Gone.
Yeah, if you don't really have a chance to look for him, you just have to chance upon the fact that you look in the right direction when the noise plays. Yeah, it's hard, but you can.
Yes,
you'll get him.
It's annoying.
You just have to make sure you're wearing your glasses, mate. Make sure.
I don't need them yet.
Hey, you get to start again on the Switch.
Is it on the Switch?
It's on the Switch, mate.
Oh, sweet.
So you can play it on your lunch break. Although you've got it on your phone too, but Switch has got a slightly bigger screen.
I've got it on the phone. I've got it on the tablet. I've got Steam on my tablet now, and I've been downloading some little touchscreen games to play on there, which is really cool.
Nice.
That's it for me game wise. Yourself, Lucas, you've been belting it out with the Switch on a few more.
Yeah, well, going back to my week in hospital, I was just gagging for stuff to play on the Switch because it was pretty much all I could take with me as long with my phone. Urban Trials Playground was another game that I picked up. It was on sale for like $2.50, and it's kind of like a rip-off of the Trials games from Ubisoft. And after I downloaded it, paid my $2.50 and downloaded it, it made itself very obvious why it was a $2.50 version of Trials.
Okay.
Now, it's not the first time I've played this Urban Trials game, because it was a freebie. It was a PlayStation Plus freebie on the Vita many, many years ago, the original. I think this is like a follow-up title to it. And I played it quite a fair bit on the Vita, and it was good. but just because I've evolved a lot with the actual Trials games, which are good, oh God, this game was just frustratingly horrible. So I didn't play too much of that. But when you're starved for stuff, like, it wasn't too bad. It's okay. For $2, it's not bad, but it's not a good Trials game. Another game that I picked up on the Switch is called Castle of Heart. The graphics looked so good. It kind of looks like, what's it called? That Dark Souls kind of knight in the armor sort of setting, that kind of setting. But it's a side-scrolling platformer, and it's very old school, and it's very, very cheap. Like, once again, this was only a couple of bucks, this game. And it's not very good either. It looks a lot better than it actually is. So that's my take on Castle of Heart. But, you know, it's there, and it was cheap because of the sales and all that. But the gem in all of this, ignoring Shakedown Hawaii, because that was like $30, the gem in this one is Fall of Light on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this one was relatively cheap as well. From memory, I think it was about maybe $7 or $8. Fall of Light is actually a pretty well fleshed out Dark Souls sort of clone. So if you're a Dark Souls fan, but you've finished Dark Souls on the Switch, or you don't actually want Dark Souls, Fall of Light is actually pretty good. The only thing is, be careful, because the Nintendo Switch, if you crack the shits and throw the controller and you're playing in handheld mode, that's the entire console that you've just destroyed, not just a controller. So I would recommend playing it in docked mode. So you don't throw the Switch, because it is very like Dark Souls.
It's kind of like a top-down version of it.
Yeah, it's a top-down version, simplified graphics-wise, but the actual gameplay is very Dark Souls. Dark Souls is obviously we refer to games to be like Dark Souls because it's the mother of all and is very refined, whereas this one's, the controls aren't as great, but for something to play on the go, that's my pick of the bunch. That's a pretty cool cheap game to play on the Switch, so I recommend giving that one a crack. That one's Fall of Light.
Awesome.
I think it covers everything I had.
Yeah, so that's our list. Greg, did you think of anything else?
Game-wise for this week?
Yeah.
No, literally, if I haven't been playing Speed Champions, I've been playing Minecraft.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, well, let's jump into the news, shall we? All right, well, let's kick it off with the PS Plus and Games with Gold for July 2019. PS Plus games see PES 2019, which is, of course, Pro Evolution Soccer, and Horizon Chase Turbo. Horizon Chase Turbo, I've not heard of this, but it's a car racing game. Yeah,
I've seen a video that UK Dazarus put up on YouTube. I watched him play.
Okay, yep. All right, I'll have to have a squiz for that. Yeah, because it hasn't really been on my radar at all. I haven't seen anything about it. Yeah. And PES 2019 is, of course, a soccer game or football. Very, very big. But, yeah, also very niche. Yeah. But, yeah, as for that Horizon one, Radicus makes a good point. It's like old school Outrun. It actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, look, they both look pretty cool. I'll be getting them both. How about yourselves? Well, that's something that I would actually prefer to have on the Switch. I reckon that would be a great Switch game. Okay. That sort of level. Well, look, I'll get them. You know me. I'll definitely get them. That's what I mean. We know your answer. What about yourself, Greg?
I'll give the card game a crack. So I'll have to jump on the PS and. Yep. Have to try and get PES a go. All of us playing Pro Evolution Soccer. Can you play more than two players on that? Yeah. That'd be funny. That'd be a funny stream, considering I don't really think any of us are that into it. No, well, all I know is if I score, I just have to scream "Goal!"
Well, I'm a FIFA dude, so as long as the controls are similar, I'll like it. They are similar, yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I've played our asses. Well, I probably will. Radicus is here. Awesome. Well, a lot of people out there argue that the Pro Evolution games are better than FIFA, but I guess it's just like iOS and Android, though, isn't it? And Android, yeah. It's what you prefer. I think so. They're both probably good.
Yeah. Well, I've played both, and they're both the same to me, but I don't get into the very nuts and bolts of it. But,
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
I'll pay every now and then, like every few years, I'll buy a FIFA. I don't buy them every year for obvious reasons. It's the same frigging game. But when I do, I really only go and play friendlies. I don't do anything. I don't use all of the features of the game. I just want to play a little bit of soccer.
All right, and the games with gold inside, from the
Yeah.
first to the 30. That's a big yes for anyone that hasn't played it yet.
Yeah, if
And
you've not
with
played that,
gold,
got to get it.
you've got to get it. That's a good one. From the 16th of July to the 15th of August, you've got Big Crown Showdown. Either of you heard of that one?
No, I'm just sort of racking my brain thinking, I don't even think I've even slightly heard of that.
No. So yeah, well, I'll be grabbing it to have a squiz. And then, of course, the 360 games which are playable on the Xbox One are Castlevania. I missed writing down what the subtitle was.
SOTN, whatever SOTN is.
Okay. And Meet the Robinsons.
I know what
Which is
SOTN. I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's with a Castlevania game.
Sons of the Night.
That sounds
there you go.
doable. We'll go with that.
So let's go with that.
Sounds like it works.
pending correction. That's what it is from now on.
That's right.
Anything, Lucas, let us know.
Also, I could just click on it. Also, there's another game that's available as well as Inside at the moment. It's called Rivals of Ether. So,
Okay. Hey, pending correction. You just saved editing, Lucas. Beautiful. It is Symphony of the Night. Thanks, Az.
Awesome.
beautiful. Because
And anyone going to have a crack at Meet the Robinsons?
What is that?
why not?
Meet the Robinsons is from the second half of the month of the 360 titles. It's a companion game for the Meet the Robinsons movie from Disney.
Oh, yeah. Probably not. No.
It's a good movie.
I'll take your word for it.
Alrighty. Greg, I want to hear about Dr. Disrespect.
For those that follow him, you might already know this, but for those of you that don't, I'll give you the rundown of what happens. So during his live E3 stream, Dr. Disrespect decided that it would be a good idea to walk into a bathroom while still recording with his cameraman. For whatever reason, I don't know. I haven't seen the piece, but that's what happened. This apparently was against the terms of Twitch, and so they suspended his account. And E3
in
revoked.
California law.
Well, yes, and California law. And E3 revoked his badge for the week.
Wait, hang on. What? Like, have we got more information on what was streamed? Because
Okay,
Well, essentially,
I've
walked
watched the stream.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
You
yeah,
explain.
I was kind of fibbing when I said I wanted to know about it because I know all about this one. I want to know if he's back online, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
So
we'll get
what
to
he's
that.
done is during his, in real life stream as he's walking around E3 and whatnot, he's gone into the bathroom and there were people.
He's at E3. He's not like
Yes.
at home doing a cover.
No.
It was a public bathroom. There was people
Right.
using urinals.
Right.
One of them was apparently what someone thought was a child, but the area that he was in, children weren't allowed to be in, was like a plus 18 event.
Uh-huh.
So
So it's a midget.
they're not. Could have been a small person, yes. But
Dwarf, I think
there's-
is the correct or the agreed to
Sorry.
nomenclature.
Yeah, fair
Okay.
enough.
So that of course violates the terms and conditions of Twitch.
You can't
Can't
film in
remember
a
exactly
toilet.
which one, and law. That's the thing. It's actually something that's punishable by law.
Yeah.
So they revoked everything. So I think he actually went in twice.
What?
Like nothing was shown. It's not like he went up and went, "Oh, what do you got down there?"
Yeah.
It's just the fact that he went in there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. See, at first I was thinking, oh, that's a bit harsh, but I thought he was in his house.
No.
But okay, in public, going into a public toilet, doing a live
toilet,
stream.
yep.
No, you can't use a camera. That's why there's no like CCTV in toilets. You can't do it. Yeah, all right. That's a fair call for them to kick him.
Suspend him.
Yeah,
So
suspend him.
so they suspended his account, and like I said, E3 revoked his badge. The following week, essentially, he just continued to make light of the whole situation, and just be the epitome of what would be disrespectful in as his name respects. It suggests. Anyway, it took about 14 days, and Twitch decided to reinstate his channel without anything more than just, hey, he's back, and all these followers are obviously stoked about that, and also chanting he's invincible and all that jazz. So
yeah, well, look, I mean, fair enough. Like to suspend him and then reinstate. I'm sure he would hopefully learn his lesson, but. Like, I don't understand how these big profile people, do they just get carried away with the whole fame? Is it kind of like when you're in high school and you had all your mates egging you on to do something stupid? Is that like what it's like?
I think in most cases I would say yes, but like we're talking about someone who sells himself on, a level of notoriety and arrogance, and the problem with that is you always have to be kind of one-upping yourself, because if you don't, it just becomes the same level, and people get desensitized to that, and then eventually it just becomes stale and boring. So you are constantly having to one-up yourself. And the problem with that is you then reach these kinds of points. There becomes this, I guess, tug of war about what you bring to, say, Twitch versus how much damage you do to Twitch doing it. And they'll get to a point where, and at this point, obviously, Twitch have decided that, yes, 14 days was, a sufficient punishment for the crime. But there will reach a Jeremy Clarkson point where they go, actually, no, you're not that invincible. Yeah. We will get rid of you, regardless of how big you are, So there has to be a level of, accountability or whatever.
Yeah, I think Dr. Disrespect needs a little bit more respect.
Yes.
Yeah. There's certain things that you don't go and do. And I think, pushing, like, that's flat out breaking the law.
Yeah.
If anyone had wanted to, they could have had him charged. But, yeah, it's... I think at the end of the day, too, let's be honest, we're here talking about it. Everybody that talks about video games has talked about it. It's written up everywhere. His name's everywhere. He's got more notoriety for it than the 14-day ban suggests. So he's got the outcome he wanted.
It worked for him, yeah.
It worked.
That's the thing. But that's stupid. If I was in the public toilet and somebody came in with a video camera, I'd bloody well have something to say about that.
Yes.
And they'd have some piss on their leg.
Yes. He'd be Dr. Piss Respect.
That's it.
Well, yeah. Well, we've got a few things in the chat. As has agreed, it's gone too far. Radicus, thinks influencers think they are stars. It's becoming to the point where they are stars. People are putting them on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And they're getting the same sort of reach and the same sort of dollars as what our big time actors and musicians are starting to get. So, like in regards to sponsorship deals and whatnot. So it's just the way of the world, unfortunately. While we're talking about streaming, Lucas, you've got some information that came out of the tragedy in Christchurch.
In Christchurch, yeah, that's right. So, look, I won't go into detail with it, but I'm sure most people would be aware of the mass shooting that occurred in Christchurch not so long ago that was live streamed. I think it was on Facebook, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And the Australian government are looking at making some changes. And this isn't something that's coming into effect, but it's something that is suggested that they want to. And as much as when I first read it, I went, oh, this isn't good. But then I read through it and I thought, you know what? That's probably not a bad idea. And I don't think it would really harm too many people. But so what they're looking at doing is making it harder to live stream. And that's the part that sounds like, oh, that's shit. That's not good for anybody else just because of these idiots that go and do these acts. But if you have a listen to what's sort of proposed, which is sort of being juggled, is that they're recommending that these live streaming outlets strengthen the account validation process, and particularly for like new accounts, and maybe throw in some cooling off periods. So if you start an account now, you can't live stream for 24, 48 hours. Okay, I don't think that's going to hurt too many new streamers. All right,
No.
make your account, set everything up, and you've got 2 days to get it set up before you can actually stream. And that'll take away sort of spur of the moment accounts that live stream specifically to do something bad, right? So I think that's a good idea. But this one I think is actually pretty good as well, is to limit the audience size and the capacity to monetize a live stream, right, for new users. So if you start today, so in 24 hours when you start streaming, your maximum audience is 12 people. I don't think that'll be really hurtful for people, because I've been streaming for years, and if I got 12 people, it'd blow my mind. So when you first,
I had 25 the other night,
yeah, see that's fucking fantastic.
and we're cheering. I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
I got my stats through because none of them talk to me.
yeah, they just
But
yeah.
I got the stats through, and I'm like, awesome. Yeah,
Just people sitting on the end go,
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's going to harm somebody
working.
that has just started out, because you're going to start off and you're only going to have a couple of people come and watch you, right? And I think this will stop people for starting up an account, doing something crazy and getting 1,000 people watching it straight off, because it'll limit that. And then obviously that'll give them time to jump in, remove it before hundreds of thousands of people see it. So I don't know. I think these are good suggestions. Also, implementing streamer ratings or scores. That I don't know how that would work, because I think that could probably be abused, like with the Steam scores, like the review bombing, where if a company will announce something that doesn't sound really good for their new game, then they go and review bomb the previous game. I think they did that with Fallout 76, did they?
They've done it with a lot recently. They've done it
yeah.
with Metro, just because it was going Epic Store exclusive.
Yes, they did that with the Metro
Yes.
games, because the people weren't happy that it was going to be an Epic Store exclusive, so they went on to Steam and they just review bombed the older games, which is like that's not what the review system's for, but it can be abused. So I don't know if that's going to be necessarily a good idea, because people that are hardworking streamers, if they tick off a particular group, then they'll get review bombed and their reviews will drop down. They'll have a 1-star rating for maybe something that's not their fault, depending on the situation. Another one, which is a damn obvious one, monitoring account activity. Look, it's in the live domain, so it's not like they're sneaking into your mobile phone and having a look what you're storing on there. If they monitor people's streaming accounts and what they're streaming, maybe they might be able to use that for intel as well. I think most of these ideas sound good. I don't know if you guys have got any thoughts on why they're not good ideas, but I reckon they're good.
No, I 100% agree with you, mate. I think they're good ideas. I have some issue with it being a double standard, though. Now, so the person who live streamed it, so excuse the language to anyone, but the fuckwit that did this, that then live streamed it as he was doing it, it was then picked up by other people, and we know what the internet's like. It's gone ballistic, okay? So different people have picked it up and have screenshot it, and they've restreamed it via Twitch, via YouTube, via, all these different areas. A lot of those people that restreamed it have now been charged.
Right.
And they've actually they've been charged with a criminal offence. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm not 100% sure of what it carries or like the actual weight of the offence or anything like that, but they've been charged. The issue that I have is still with the fact that the Prime Minister of New Zealand asked the media outlets around the world not to show this information and not to name the suspect. The Australian media blew everything up. They showed the footage. They named the suspect. So they've gone ahead and shown this footage. Yes, they didn't show the gory details to us, but they've still shown the footage and made it known that it was out there for more people to go and look for it.
Yeah.
And nothing's happened to them. So I think if there's going to be some breakdown there, yes, there's all this, freedom of the press and everything like that. But in these extreme cases, I think there needs to be something put on there. Obviously, if we stop it at the front end, then we're not going to have to worry about it at the back end with someone like the press or anyone else stumbling across it. But that needs to be a part of the solution as well, I think.
Yeah. But look, at the end of the day, look, I think there needs to be a lot put into place because technology and all of these different types of media is evolving, and these laws need to catch up. And there needs to be a lot of work because this stuff's sort of relatively new, but it's starting to take off really fast. And none of this stuff would bug me because, like I said, those things that that it will restrict, they will be temporary restrictions because it's just something for when you're starting out. So you'll eventually be able to lift. But early on, for me anyway, I'm not really that entertaining, I guess, on a live stream. God, if I sort of get a little bit giddy if I see like 6 and 7. I'm like, that's not just you guys.
Well, it automatically puts a stop to that shock value.
Yeah.
Look, the only problem I see with these things are they're easily countermeasured. Like, they're good ideas, but it doesn't stop someone from just being a little bit more preemptive.
Yeah. Like
this guy didn't go out and do this on a whim. He might have decided on a whim to show it, but that may not necessarily be, he might have planned to do that. And if he planned to do that and these rules are in place, he would have set in motion this months ago.
Well, there's right. There's where there's a will, there's a way. You can never do like automatic and semi-automatic weapons are illegal in Australia, but you can still get them.
Yeah. Look,
you never stop everything. But if you make it harder, it'll happen less.
No, look, I'm not saying they shouldn't do this. I agree with you. I think they're good ideas. I'm just saying I don't think they're foolproof. They're easily countermeasured. It just means that people have to be a little bit more proactive. They can't knee jerk these decisions. They have to be premeditated. And that's what we'll get.
The right people.
But the problem with premeditated ideas is they're much better executed.
Well, yeah, but
people
I think
just do them on a whim.
The main idea is to just make it harder for them to do live stream that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Radicus has got a good idea in the chat as well. A half-hour delay.
Well, yeah,
so any source of delay, and that way you can monitor it a lot better as well.
Yeah, have half-hour delay. I know it's an example, but I think a half-hour delay would kind of defeat the purpose of a live stream. But some sort of a delay, and you can obviously reduce the delay the more that your account gets verified. At
the end of the day, they're good ideas. They need a lot of thought behind them, and they need the right people implementing them. I think that's probably the easiest way to put it.
Yeah. But this is the Australian government, so none of those things will happen.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to get into that.
Sorry, I had to say it. I work for them, so I know.
That's all right. Well, let's keep it rolling with the government. Trump, Mr. Trump, or President Trump, I should say.
President, the big Prez, Big T.
So what's he up to, Rich?
Orange man, yellow hair. Right, so obviously for a lot of you've heard about the fact that Trump has been sort of touting this whole tariffs against China to try and, get this economic deal over the line. Well, and, a lot of people have been saying that Trump doesn't know what a tariff is or how it works or any of that jazz. And a lot of what he's saying is wrong. Well, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo have gotten together and decided to join forces by writing essentially a letter on behalf of all three companies to him, saying that they're against the tariffs to China, stating that
one section of the tariffs.
Yes. So it would create, the one that they're talking about would create a 25% tariff on video gaming consoles, which would mean that, and I'm not sure how they calculated this number, but they said it would cost American consumers $840 million more than it would normally, just buying video game consoles. So obviously they've measured it over measured it over a period and actually X amount of sales and added the amount to it. Apparently 96% of consoles imported to the US are from China. So, and to move the supply chains and circumvent these tariffs would actually cost more for the consumers again than what the tariffs would. So it kind of stuck in this instance. But then they also are arguing that the flow-on effects economically to software and especially to medium to small size software and accessory devs in the US would be crushing. Like, it could easily crush the industry. So they're lobbying Trump to rethink his policy on these tariffs. So
yeah, good luck with that.
Okay.
yeah, good luck with that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Look, no one's been successful in telling him he's wrong before. So,
Well, just in time for those tariffs, the Steam sales are here.
Yes.
So I don't really have anything on that other than it's actually tempting me this year. It's the first year that it has ever tempted me, and I have already spent some money on them.
Well, yeah, your Steam library compared to mine is quite new.
Infantile.
Yeah,
It's very infantile.
exactly. So my issue is that a lot of the stuff that's like super priced, I own already. But there's one game that I've been keeping my eye on, and I'm thinking about paying the $25 for it. Is that Dead Cells game? That looks really cool. It's a platformer. It's pixel art again. I've got a real thing for pixel art at the moment. I'm really into it, and not like old pixely games. I mean like really impressive pixel art that has awesome animation, brilliant bright colors, and this game has all of that. I think I'm gonna grab it, but yeah, it looks like a pretty cool game. It's about $10 cheaper than it normally is on the Steam sale at the moment. But,
I even bought a mystery box last week.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Did you get anything worth talking about? No.
Well, I did. I got the original Just Cause.
Okay.
Which is a cool game in itself, but then I put it in the Discord chat. Someone else can have it because I've played it and I finished it. So, yeah, but other than that, they were just... actually, there was one game that was really cool. It's called Earthworms, and it's like kind of like a hidden object game.
Right.
And yeah, I haven't played very much of it. It's got a really weird art style. It's kind of got that neo, or what do they call it? Neo noir?
Oh yeah, it's like a sepia,
black and white.
Yeah, sepia type thing. Yeah. So it looks kind of cool. But I got that. I got Niflheim, which is, again, that's all right, I suppose. Geometry Wars, Sunblast, Labaronia, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. And these are ones I've just put on. Niflheim was kind of cool for what I've played of it, all about, I think, 2 or 3 minutes. Lucas, Nintendo's expanding its online service.
Yeah, so if very Nintendo Switch
just
this
in
week,
time for me.
Still Nintendo Switchy stuff. Yeah, well, if you're unaware, Nintendo Switch has an online service that you need to pay for now, which has been introduced with the Nintendo Switch. It's probably a good 12 months after the Switch actually came out that this came into play. It was free up until then. But now you've got to pay for it. However, it's pretty cheap when you compare it to Xbox Live and PSN and all that sort of stuff. But for good reason, because you don't really get a lot with it. So you got to pay, it's about $5 a month, or you can pay like $35 for the year. All right, so you get the online ability, so you can play multiplayer games. If you want to play multiplayer online, you have to have this, just like PSN, Xbox Live, and if there's anything else, I don't know. But you get like an app that you can download, which is the Nintendo Online app, and it gives you a whole bunch of NES games that you can play, which is cool. You know, it's kind of like your PlayStation Plus games or your games with gold every month, but they're like super old games, and it's the NES, the original NES, and that's what you get. They do have the best of the best in there. It's like Super Mario Brothers 3 on there. There's a couple of the Zelda games, but I'm talking these are like the beginning of time games. They are so old that not even I really want to play them anymore. So they're really just for hardcore fans. However, Nintendo have confirmed that they will be expanding their online subscription service beyond the NES games. That's about all they've confirmed. So we don't know necessarily what they mean by that. However, I would think they're probably going to bring in some SNES games, you know, something from the Super Nintendo era. They may go as far as going another step. And what was after the SNES? That was the
64, wasn't it?
Yeah, the 64. Yeah, oh, gee, I don't know if they'll go as far as that for $5 a month. Given Nintendo,
do you think they'll?
games.
Don't they have some sort of agreement with Sega
For what?
Well, I know they're using Sonic in a few different games.
Oh yeah. Nintendo do work with Sega characters and stuff. Yeah, they've got certain licensing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if the licensing would come together and bring some Mega Drive games across.
Oh, see, look, I don't know if they'll do that for Nintendo Online. No, I don't think they would do that. I think they would keep that strictly Nintendo. You can get Sega games on the Switch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll see them.
As for giving it away as a part of their promotion, I'm pretty sure they'll keep it strictly Nintendo, which is a shame, but that's just what I think will happen. But it'd be really cool if they brought some Mega Drive games out on there. That would be cool. But then saying that again, besides the what do you call it, the first party stuff like Sonic and that, there were a lot of cross-platform games that were on the SNES and the Mega Drive, so they're probably that could open up. But they are going to expand, which is good, because I don't really get any value out of the NES games because they're just too old for me. I've moved on from that. You know, besides the Mario Brothers 3, I really enjoy that game. I do go back to that every now and then. The rest of them, they're just way too dated for me. But anyway, that's something to look forward to. Keep an eye on it. You actually, Snoogs, are you a subscriber to Twitch Prime?
No, I'm not.
No, okay. Because I happen to be, I am a subscriber, and one of the perks was 3 months of Nintendo Online. And if you're a subscriber to Twitch Prime for 3 months, then they give you 12 months on top of that for Nintendo.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. And that's $5 a month on its own. So essentially I'm paying for my Nintendo Online and Twitch Prime for the one price.
That sounds like an idea.
It's a good idea, because if you want one or the other, just get one and you can have the other, you know what I mean? So that's something to think about. So straight up, it gave me the 3 months, and then after I've subscribed for 3 months to Twitch Prime, I'll get the 12 months.
Booyah. Sounds good. Love to have a squiz of that. Grejio.
Yes.
Flappy Royale.
Flappy Royale.
What the hell is Flappy Royale?
Sounds like a porno.
It kind of does, doesn't it? Flappy Royale, the amazing helicopter.
So it's probably, if you kind of think about the name, it's probably what you'd think, besides it being a porno. If you're actually thinking it was a game, you probably come together with what it is. So it's Flappy Bird Battle Royale. So you and 99 players all flap at the same time, and whoever gets furthest through the maze
Has to eat the sayo.
it has to.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I knew I'd get one of you.
Yep. He wins. Sayo dinner. Anyway, so a bus drops you off at the beginning of the level. So a bus comes down,
Okay.
and then all the little birdies flap out, and then you literally go. You have the ability to customize your Flappy. It's available. When I wrote these notes, it was for the 28th of June, which was
A couple of days ago.
a couple of days ago. It was available as a beta then, so it's available now, I assume, still. Now, it's debatable whether it's actually 99 players or whether there's like a bunch of players and then it's just populates the rest with AIs. But yeah, look, it's not easy flapping with 99 other people through the maze because they get in the way, and it's hard to see your own
It's
little
not
Flappy.
easy doing it with one person.
Yeah, I know. So,
Minesweeper Battle Royale's next.
oh wow, yes. Let's give that a shot. It's probably Battle
Alrighty.
Royale I'd play.
That'll be all right, yeah. All right, I've got a whole lot of news bits and pieces. So at the start of the show, I suggested something called News Royale. News Royale? Funnily enough.
News Royale, really?
News Royale.
We all say
what am I-
we all keep saying what
Sorry.
news items
News
run
Roulette.
out on News Roulette.
I called it, yes.
Okay, that's
So
different.
something that was actually done ages ago, Lucas,
mm.
on the show, where you would suggest a news item and you guys can tell me yes or no that you want to hear about it.
Yes,
So I've
we
got-
did do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So it was a little while ago, but because I've got a few different things, I thought I'll just throw them all out at the end. You can tell me if you want to hear about them or not.
Okay.
I do have one that I want to talk about, which is it's a sad bit of news. It's a bit of a sensitive subject. Do you want to hear that first or last? Either way, I am going to talk about this one.
Do that one first, and then with the rest of them, we have choice.
All right, cool. So this one, first and foremost, if anyone's having a bad time, if they're feeling down or lonely or anything like that, please reach out to someone that you know, that you trust. If you don't feel like you've got that, there are plenty of options out there for you. Hell, if all else fails, come and talk to us. And I say this because a lot of people out in the world, the world is a pretty full-on place at the moment. And a lot of things that I'm seeing is people that are content creators, what's the other word? Influencers, things like that. A lot of people seem to be put in very high-pressure situations because of it. I am, of course, talking in regards to a recent tragic event with Etika. Now, do you guys know who Etika is?
Well, only because of the recent event.
The
Never heard
recent
of him.
events? Yeah.
Never heard of him beforehand.
Yeah, so YouTuber Desmond, I'll probably butcher the last name here, Amafar,
Sure.
who will just, yeah.
First
okay.
time.
So his online name is Etika. He was unfortunately found dead recently, a week after being reported as missing, and it was apparent that he actually took his own life. So this was after some ongoing things. He had a history of mental illness and a history of talking about suicide and things like that. Then he went on a stream and had a bit of a rant about it, kind of like a suicide note, so to speak, and then left. And then that's when he was reported missing because people couldn't get in touch with him. And so it was a very, very tragic end to, someone who I believe he was only mid to late 20s. And, was talking about a lot of the pressure and whatnot that he was under, being this, YouTube celebrity. I personally hadn't seen much of his stuff. I've saw bits of it here and there, but watched more of it after, the news broke that he was missing. And I just thought that was something that I'd like to put out there. If anyone is having that sort of troubles, please talk to someone. There's always a solution. I suppose is the easiest way to put it. That's that. That's a bit of tragic news, but I've got a few other bits and pieces that I'd like to talk to you guys about. Okay. Sony's boss says PlayStation will never stop single-player games. Yes or no?
Nah. That's a...
No.
That's
Is that news? Is that news, is it? I just thought that was general knowledge.
That's right. Yeah, is that news?
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, nah. All right. EVE Online is in chaos.
Nah.
No? This one's a cool story.
Yeah, no. I want to hear about it because I think there was something about this the other day. There was a big war, wasn't there?
Not so to speak. For the first time in EVE history, player-to-player wars have ceased. There are no current wars between real-life players because every player-run empire is scrambling in its way to defend their territory from a full-on siege by NPCs. And no one can understand why. So what there is, there's this is actually brilliant. So there's always been NPC factions. They've always been in EVE, and they've always been hostile. But they've always been in relatively small numbers, and they have never been, tactical. They have never been overly aggressive or anything like that. So there's been a glitch in something in the programming, and this group called the Drifters has just gone ballistic. And they are sieging fleets. They are overtaking, major stations. They are decimating everywhere. There used to be a thing where you could farm these the Drifters, where you could go out, attack them, and what their thing was, if you attacked them, they'd chase you. So what you do is you go out, attack one, chase them back to your base where all of your partners or whatnot are waiting for them, or your defenses are there, and they would pretty much be flying into a trap. Now, when they're coming back as a horde.
Yeah, well,
it's not just one out anymore.
This is a money-making exercise from the EVE Online people. Let's destroy everyone's shit so they have to buy more stuff.
Could very well be the case.
But hang on a second. So there's no human-on-human warfare at the moment. It's almost like we have the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Is that what's going on?
No, they're not. Well, it kind of is, but it's more every man for himself. So what they're kind of doing is everyone's pulling back to their own areas and defending.
Because this sounds to me, what I was thinking is the perfect opportunity for 2019. Leeroy Jenkins! For one arsehole on your team to just go and stoke the fire. Run into the enemy territory. The actual
come over here.
Other human players and just destroy everything.
We'll just have to keep an eye out for that, I think.
Yeah. Relive the Leeroy Jenkins moment in 2019.
Jesus. On EVE Online. Oh, God. Yeah,
seriously, can you imagine the first people that came across this problem? Like, they're just like, oh, we just need some resources. Let's do an easy farm. And then there's like, what the... They just got obliterated by something that should have been easy. That's quite funny.
Yeah, so it's got the thing that I'm reading. It's a US website. They've always been in EVE Online, but they've never posed a collective threat to its entire player base. So I'm watching this because I love EVE Online. I love the sheer anarchy that can unfold in it. I just don't have the time to play it, but I love the idea behind it. So I'm watching this. I think it's brilliant. Alrighty, well that's enough of that one. Next, EA Access. Any care there?
Oh, not really.
I need more information before I can make that decision.
EA Access launches on PlayStation July 24th. That's pretty much the news.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it? So yes, okay, beautiful.
That's pretty much the news.
Awesome.
Yeah. Toy Story Smash Up.
Mash up. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, come on.
Toy Story and Minecraft are joining forces.
Oh yes, I did see this. Obviously, because I play Minecraft, but it's available. Yes.
Yeah, so it's available now, and pretty much it's an entire Toy Story world within Minecraft. So you get to go into. Oh, okay, Az has got it. There you go. So you can play in Andy's room, in what's that psycho kid next door, Sid's room. That's the one. There's a whole lot of different skins
running around as Mrs. Nesbit.
Andy's mum's room.
No, Mrs. Well,
what toys can you play with in there?
Funnily enough, they're named the same thing.
Yeah, Buzz and Woody.
Buzz Woody.
So check it out. I'm going to put up some information on this on the website, so be sure to check it out because it looks cool. I got to say, all the skins, the Minecraft skins, I love them. I've got the Adventure Time skins on my copy of Minecraft, so always good fun. All right, the Sinking City and the physical copies that have been delayed. Yes, no.
What do you reckon, Greg? I'm thinking.
I feel like I should say no to something.
Razer has cancelled a contract with an influencer over Twitter comments.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Next.
No. Yes.
What?
You want to know? So
you want to hear about? Okay.
What did he say? I want to know who it is and what he said.
Okay, well, it's a she.
Ooh, look at me being all presumptuous.
Yeah, Gabriella Catuzzo is South American.
Oh.
So she's responded on Twitter to a sexual harassment. So she responded to being sexually harassed, and due to some of her comments, Razer has come out and said that they're not renewing her sponsorship contract.
No, she let the trolls win.
Well, not really. It's this is a strange one. So Catuzzo has taken a photo of herself riding a mechanical bull with the caption, I'm riding the chat. One of the first replies come from a male user. You can ride me if you want.
Right.
Okay. Usual type of shit. She's responded, there's always going to be fucked in the head macho men to talk shit and sexualize women until the woman starts making jokes, right? And then she's followed it up with, and this is why men are trash. So apparently she's then also wrote, men who don't act this way towards women are the exception. So, courtesy of that
shits me.
What's that?
Those stupid comments that this is why men are trash.
And to be fair, it's kind of baiting. Like, you put up something that already sexualized yourself and the situation. What were you expecting? Like,
it wasn't even
I'm not condoning the person's comments. The person's a dickhead, but she was baiting him. Like, let's be honest.
Oh, look, that's you're going down another path there. Oh, she deserved it because of this, but
I'm not saying she deserved it. No one deserved the response. But she was baiting.
That's what people will derive out of what you're saying because she's baiting.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying she's baiting. I'm not saying that she deserved the response she got, but she was baiting for a response.
But the thing that shits me is her response saying that's why men are trash. Like, that shits me. Like, you can't paint everyone with the same brush because I wouldn't say something like that. And I fall into that category of men.
Mm-hmm.
I just, look, obviously it was an angry response and I'm pretty sure she doesn't mean it unless she's a lesbian and maybe she hates men, I don't know. But that's... Well,
she did also put on there that men that don't act this way to women are the exception. So this was something that she tweeted. Yeah, she tweeted that later on.
Yeah, later on as a disclaimer.
As a backpedal.
To get around the shit.
Yeah.
A backpedal. Yeah. But that's the stupid thing, you know? Like, if a female just says something disrespectful to me, I'm just going to... And that's why women are useless. Like, that's just a stupid thing. Like, you might say that to somebody one-on-one just to piss them off because they've upset you. But if you broadcasting. I wouldn't do it on top of a stage where there are other women that are probably decent. Like that's a stupid thing to do. Stupid thing to do for her.
I just want everyone to stop being fucking snowflakes.
People just need to learn how to deal with hecklers, and I think maybe these streamers and influencers need to watch a few more stand-up comedians and see how they do it, because damn, there's some really good ones.
You know what? That's actually really that's a really spot on point. It's a heckle.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And whereas, people in the past have, and especially our generation, we grew up with being heckled constantly. And it was, we found ways around it. We found responses. We found ways of dealing with it and, throwing something back to usually turn it into a comical factor.
Yeah.
And you don't really get that anymore because everyone just goes, oh, it hurt my feelings.
Yeah. And look, a recent example of a heckler kind of wasn't a negative heckler, but it was heckling, was at E3 with Keanu Reeves. The guy yelled out, "You're breathtaking." That was heckling. They were yelling out at him while he was doing his thing, right? And although it wasn't negative, it was actually quite a nice thing to say because people love Keanu, but he dealt with that perfectly and threw it back and just, and it was a good, like, it's probably not the best example because it wasn't exactly having a go at him, but he still dealt with it and the show moved on. Whereas a lot of these people, like these streamers, are getting themselves in shit because they're taking heckling personally. You can't take that shit personally. It's a heckle. They're doing it to get a rise out of you. What you need to do is be a bit more quick-witted about it, as in do some preparation on how to deal with such things and put them in their place. And I'm saying not like Kramer did. Remember that one?
No.
Well, I can't remember. I don't know his real name. The actor that played Kramer out of
Seinfeld.
No,
yeah.
That's a bad example of how to deal with a heckler. But you've got to learn to deal with that sort of stuff because you're gonna get heckled. But that was poorly executed there. Deserves
and she's paid the price for it.
Yeah,
she's lost the sponsorship with Razer. It's hopefully. It's a learning thing for all involved anyway. The last bit of news that I've got is the first PlayStation 5 benchmark tests have been leaked.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I don't understand any of this.
Well, go ahead. So, I'll see if I can explain any of it.
PS4 rough. So it's got here its scores. Okay, so benchmark scores. PS4 rough score was 5,000. The PS5 rough score is 20,000 and upwards. Now, so this is in regards to the Gonzalo APU.
Right.
It's scored above 20,000 points. It's comparable to top-of-the-line PC graphics cards. The 1270 RX is 18,100. The 1080 GTX is 19,300. The 2080 RTX is 21,900, pretty much.
So it's comparable right now, not in like 2 weeks' time.
So what's the benchmarking that they're using?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, this is where I don't understand it because I've got no point of reference.
Well, at least if the PS4 is benchmarking at 5,000 and this is the PS5's benchmarking at 20, I mean, we get a gauge there that it's 4 times better.
4 times better.
Which is pretty fucking good, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, we'll take into perspective, okay, the GTX 1080, which is what you've got.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's benchmarking at 19,370.
Well, that's just the GPU component. There's a lot of things that go towards performance.
Yeah. So this is where I mean it's a bit hazy, but that's kind of what they're pointing into perspective. But the GTX 1080 is capable of running a lot of games in 4K. Yeah. And minimum 30. So will it run stuff at 60 frames in 4K?
Yeah, depending on what it is and what graphical setting you have it at. Yeah, it can. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. So once this is where it's at with this over 20,000 sort of benchmark, that's kind of gives you that idea that it's looking at running things 4K and 60 frames. Oh, here you go. I'm just reading through. Does Fire Strike benchmark? Does that mean anything to you?
Oh, it will not immediately, but it would at least explain what the 5,000 score is if you check out what that looks at.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for me, mate. That's all of my bits and pieces of news. All right. Well, as usual, I forgot to ask beforehand. Any last words from anybody?
Oh, I thought that's what you're about to swing across onto.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what we're doing right now.
That's what I was,
And
any
yes,
last
I do.
words? All right.
I do have some last words.
All right. Greg, jump into it first, mate.
So Summer Games Done Quick has just finished up an event. These guys they do a week-long sort of event where they do speed runs of a whole bunch of games, and viewers get to donate to interact with the people playing. And this year they've made $3 million over the week for Doctors Without Borders.
Oh, cool.
If you're interested in seeing the speed runs, they're available on the Summer Games Done Quick YouTube channel. Their next event is in September in TwitchCon, where they will be giving to the Able Gamers charity, and then there'll be one in January 2020 after that. I'm not sure. There's no details for that one yet. It's just a slated time. So yeah, if you're interested in checking that kind of stuff out and having a look, September's the next one.
Sounds like fun. That's a great thing to. It's a great amount of dollars too.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
All right, Lucas.
All right. Now, what I wanted to touch on is, as I have mentioned earlier in the show, that I spent the last week in hospital with my daughter, who was quite sick. And it was kind of, I decided to put up a tweet post about it and explaining the situation. Now, it's not normally something that I would share, is sort of personal issues. However, I felt it was kind of like a little bit of therapy, because I was struggling watching my little girl, who's 10 years old, in such a state where she was... Look, long story short, she was temporarily paralyzed, where she couldn't use her arms and legs properly. And for those of you that are parents, you could probably imagine, and hopefully you haven't actually been through it, but you could imagine what that would be like watching your children, right? So I was feeling a bit down, was stressed, and I put up a post or a thread on my Twitter explaining the situation. And what I want to do is just shout out to, as best I can, to those that put up some really nice, comforting comments to myself and my daughter, wishing us well. And there were some really touching messages on there. I even got a couple of DMs that came straight to me with some advice and some suggestions, which I'll get to. But yeah, just a quick shout out to those people, because they were amazing. And these people, a lot of these people I've never actually met, but have had a lot to do with interactions on, say, Twitter or Facebook. And it was just really heartfelt. It was amazing. I've got a list here of people that liked the tweets, and they also commented, but this is just something that I want to read through. The Bit War veterans, thank you very much to you guys. And this is in no particular order. It's just how it appears. Christian Haleblian, sorry about that. Adam Johns, Pippo, Rem as well, thank you. Uncle Chunt, Happy Gaming, Bad Seed, that's Mega Bad Seed, legend, thanks buddy. Stuart Henderson, Kazza Kyle, Rusky Big Musky, I'll come back to that name. Stick Figure, Snoogs, you were there as well. Thank you very much. Actually, I've got to... Greg, do you mind if I read out the tweet you wrote?
No, by all means, man.
Mate, this really touched. This. Thank you so much for this. Greg actually replied to my tweet and said, this is obviously referring to my daughter. She's an angel. I love her and how much she shows my how much love she shows my kids when they're together. Get well soon, kiddo. And that's my girl. She does, and she loves your kids, and she loves other people. She's such a wonderful, warm little girl. But thanks for that tweet, man. That was awesome. I don't know how Twitter works. It's so confusing. How do I
They
get
keep
to the...
changing it on me.
Oh, here it is. Okay, it's mostly the same people. Stephen Reeves as well. But yeah, now I said I was going to go back to Rusky Big Muskie. Now Rusky, I've known, I don't know how long, probably 10, probably it's probably about 10 years. But I've never met the bloke. He lives in America, and he's always been a massive contributor to Aussie Gamers Express, the Aussie Gamers Experience. He's always been there, and he's always the sort of person that when he writes something, he puts a lot of thought and heart and soul into it. He's not the guy that will reply back going, okay. He'll give you a good piece of his opinion, and it's always very well structured. He's a lovely bloke. He's a father of 3 girls himself, so he could obviously imagine the what it would be like. But he actually knew somebody that was going through something, or had gone through something similar. And he wrote me, he went out of his way and went and spoke with that person about what I had tweeted, and then came back to me with some advice that was given from them, and then also gave me their contact details in case I wanted to get in touch with them to discuss further. Luckily for us, our doctors here were really good and were onto it and found out, and my daughter is on the mend. But that was just beyond. That was so good. And like, as much as I say, look, I've never even met this guy, I feel like he's a friend, and a friend for life. So Rusky Big Muskie, and I know he'll be listening to this because he listens to all our shows. He's a great guy. Thank you very much. Now, the last person I'm just going to mention, just so I'm not drawing this out, and my apologies to anybody that I have missed that has put on some thoughtful messages. Thank you to all of them. But Aussie Gamer, okay, I remember the first time I ran into Aussie Gamer on Twitter, I had a go at him because I'm like, hey, I'm the real Aussie Gamer here. Because at the time my Twitter handle was Aussie Gamer as well. It was Aussie Gamers Express or something like that, or I don't know, whatever it was. And we sort of just started chatting through there. But he DM'd me and said that he's got 2 boys, 9 and 11, and they have a whole bunch of stuff that is what's that? Frozen. That cartoon, Frozen?
Yep.
They've got like some Frozen toys and paraphernalia and stuff that clearly boys don't want. His boys suggested, can we send this to her as a care package? Like,
that's amazing.
How nice is that? Like, just something to cheer her up. I thought that was an amazing sentiment and something beautiful. Once again, something I've never met in real life, but just, this is what the internet can be. This is what social media can be. It doesn't necessarily have to be horrible things. There is beautiful people on there, and they showed themselves when I put up that tweet. So thank you very much to all of you, and you guys included, and the guys in the live chat. You guys were all there too. I mean, Az isn't on Twitter, so I don't think Az was aware of it until the other night when I caught her up. But yeah, that's my story for the last week. But she's on the mend. She's getting better. She's doing amazing, absolutely amazing. And we got through it with the support that I got from my friends. Thank you. All right, that's enough of that.
Alrighty. Well, no last words from me, really. Everyone have fun. That's an order.
Yes, sir.
All right. First of all, mate, I'm glad she's doing well. We all knew she was, because that was that's too bright a light to ever be turned off. So, like, to be dulled. She was always that smile. Even when I got to see her, wasn't as bad as she got, but she was still, very smile and very happy. So that was good to see.
She's a tough cookie.
She is a tough cookie. That's it. Don't have any other last words. The usual plugs: Aussie Gamers TV and Snooger Vision over on Twitch, and Grejio XBL on, what's that thing called? Instagram.
Yep.
Be sure to check them out. And, of course, that other show, if you haven't yet, get over, have a look for it, and have a listen.
I might make another one this week.
Might make another one?
Yeah.
Do you have the scotch ready and the cigar?
Oh, I'll get it ready. Absolutely. It's probably going to be a cordial because it'll be done at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well, You
Weak.
don't drink scotch at 10 o'clock in the morning, then drink rum because you're not an alcoholic, you're a pirate.
No, I go hard, man. It's the best Cotty's cordial that I use.
Cottage cordial.
Yeah, apple raspberry
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, I might come over.
with crushed ice. It drinks it straight.
Oh, God. Oh.
It's going to be an interesting episode.
Oh, Radicus has got some last words. You guys, I consider friends. Yeah,
Well, thank you, Reddy, because we feel
absolutely.
the same, mate.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
man.
the thing with you
100%.
guys that are in the live chat. You absolutely friends, 100%. You're not just followers or just people that happen to listen to the show. Like you guys are like actually my mates. If I'm ever in your neck of the woods, I'll be knocking on your door for somewhere to sleep if it's raining. Oh, I love yous. Love yous. Go on, Yaz.
All right, well, let's wrap up the show, shall we?
Cool.
All right. Thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. A super special thanks to Azrael, Radicus, and Kazza was in there for a little bit, chatting along live. Thanks a lot. As always, Grejio and Lucas, thank you for joining me this week.
No worries.
And
Pleasure.
pleasure.
having a bit of a giggle. Lucas, good luck with the editing.
Yeah, thanks.
Have fun with that one. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics we've discussed on this show on our Facebook page, or come and join us in our Discord channel to get in touch with us directly at any stage. You can shoot us an email, info@theagexp.com. Don't forget to hit up our website, leave us a review over there if you'd like, www.theagexp.com. As always, links and show notes are in the show notes below. That's all from me this week. As always, I have been Snoogs.
I have been Lucas.
And I have been Grejio.
Why was I waiting to be last? I don't know.
I don't know.
And
I was
that
even
has
thinking
been
about it.
The awkward pause.
Oh, no, let's do it again. Let's do it again. That was shit. Let's do it again. Go.
That's all from me. As always, I have been Snoogs.
I've been Lucas.
And I have been Grejio.
See ya.
Hooroo.
Whew. Okay, that's the end of this week's podcast. And if you found yourself shouting at your speakers in disgust or maybe even in pleasure, make your way over to our Discord server and make a comment in the appropriate channel. Failing that, you can also have your say over on our Facebook page, or you can just tweet at us. Searching for the Aussie Gamers Experience will usually lead you in the right direction, but you could just use the set of links that are in the show description. This podcast is available through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, and plenty more. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode of the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience. Oh shit, this is what happens when you're away for a bit. Radicus's gif there, doesn't it just sum up the end of the podcast? Man, what a big
It was a bit-
group hug moment.
It was a big group hug moment. But,
Yeah.
well deserved.
Yeah, God, it's too lovey-dovey in here. It got a bit steamy in my office. I'm going to have to let Leo in to bring me back down to earth.
With a
Oh.
fart.
If you let Leo into a steamy office, he's going to strip down.
Yeah, probably. Hey, I've got to tell you, this will make it into the extra bits of the podcast because I forgot to mention I'm going on the Sin Spacey show again.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and so is Leo.
Oh, God.
So the Sin Spacey show is going to be on Saturday coming. I think 10 o'clock
Right.
in the morning. It's on
All right.
Twitch.
Is it just you and Leo?
No, it's a Sin Spacey show.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, so
I think he's
I think-
asking if the front loader's going to be there.
The front loader.
the front loader,
You mean top loader?
the top loader.
Loader. Either way.
Front loader. Either way, it's a bloody washing machine.
It is.
It just makes a lot of noise.
I said that-
It's an off-balance washing machine.
I said that to him once. I said, is that a reference to some sort of washing machine? Apparently he's talking about a gaming console top loader. But anyway, whatever.
Oh, it's a better cord.
Yes. The beta cord where it popped up on the top. No, it'll be me as a special guest. There's Uncle Chunt and Cameron Hons. will be
nice.
the three guests on Since Spacey Show 9. So check it out. It'll be live
definitely.
on Twitch, on the Since Spacey's Twitch channel, and then it'll go up on his YouTube channel the following day at some stage. But yeah, check it out.
Cool.
Oh, and I forgot Leo. Leo's going to be on there too. He won't be there for the full show because I don't think Spacey's will be able to handle him for much more than sort of like the first 10 minutes, and then I'll take over.
Oh, no, I've seen him handle Top Loader for a whole episode, so.
Well, yeah.
Did he handle him? Really?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
good point.
In the
Good
editing,
point.
you did.
Yeah. Cut him out, yeah.